Carla Lockhart.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Mr Deputy Speaker, in introducing this amendment, the Honourable Lady is merely picking up the baton from amendment's original sponsor, the Honourable Member for Ealing Central and Acton, who has tried to bring these plans forward three times already since 2020, and it will come as no surprise that I rise to speak against new Clause 11 and that our party will be voting against it. It is not needed now for the same reasons it was not needed on those occasions. We already have laws on the statute book to prevent harassment and maintain public order, including laws in place to ensure women are not harassed or intimidated outside abortion clinics. Therefore, this amendment is simply unnecessary. The law gives the police the powers they need to maintain public order, to intervene if demonstrations cause serious disruption, and tackle threatening or abusive behaviour that may intimidate women. In the vast majority of cases, there is no evidence that hospitals and abortion clinics are affected by protesters. A blanket ban is therefore an unnecessary and disproportionate response, especially when the police can protect women through other lawful means. Mr Deputy Speaker, the police already have the tools they need to protect women. There is no evidence of the scale of harassment that the Honourable Lady, and indeed some in this House, have referred to today. Therefore, I repeat, this amendment is not necessary. It would risk unintended consequences for freedom of speech and freedom of expression, and it would be bad for women. Many women have been helped by volunteers outside abortion clinics. My honourable friend for Gainsborough referenced Alina Degura, and she has written she wrote about her experience just last week and how a lady helped her outside an abortion clinic. And I'm not going to repeat the story, but she explained that her beautiful daughter would not be here today without support from a volunteer handing out a leaflet outside the clinic. Another mother who is happy for her testimony to be shared with parliamentarians but does not want her name shared because of fears of retaliation from pro-choice campaigners explained that she was under immense pressure to go through with her abortion, but on her way into the abortion clinic, a woman handed her a leaflet and simply said that she was there if she needed her. Her conversation with this woman gave her the support and confidence she needed to keep her baby. She further recounted the potential introduction of buffer zones is a really bad idea because women like me, what would they do then? You know, not every woman that walks into those clinics actually wants to go through with the termination. There's immense pressure. Maybe they don't have financial means to support themselves or their baby, and they feel there's no alternatives. These people offer alternatives. She describes her daughter as an amazing, perfect little girl and the love of her life. She said she shared her testimony because she wants MPs advocating for buffer zones to realise that her daughter would not be alive today if they had their way. Buffer zones would deprive support for many other women like these two women who have bravely shared their stories, who do not want to abort their babies but perhaps feel they have no other choice. Before I conclude, there are just a number of other points that I want to make. Under this amendment, as drafted, it would be a crime to offer help to those women who ideally would like to continue with pregnancy but can't due to economic circumstances. That's just abhorrent. This amendment would criminalise anyone making such an offer regardless of how they went about it or their views on abortion. How is that pro-choice? Similarly, the amendment as drafted would also criminalise someone who accompanies a woman having an abortion and who says, "Are you sure?" even if the woman seeking the abortion is happy for this to be asked. Even if MPs agree with the principle of the amendment, there must be a recognition that it is poorly drafted and criminalises far more than ought to be criminalised. This is not a tailored amendment to deal with disruptive pro-life protesters, and perhaps people in this House would have been led to believe by those who have proposed it. I would encourage all across this House to consider what has been said, that this amendment goes far further than what needs to happen, because the law is already in place to protect women against any misdemeanours or any inappropriate behaviour outside such clinics. Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker.